Hello besties, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Agos and today we're gonna sit down and chat about books, and I'm really excited for today's video, and hopefully I can kind of do this again because I love films. So for today's video I wanted to do if you liked this film or TV show as a child or teenager, you should read X book. And some of them are going to be based on aesthetics, some of them are going to be based on themes. It's going to be like different. I didn't look for things that were like exactly the same story. Some of them are very similar, but it's just kind of going off vibes or just different things. But I will explain why I think you should read each book based on the film. So let's just get started. I have them all written down on my phone. What should we start with? Well, let's start easy. One, I wanted to say, if one of your favorite films was a Peter Pan when you were little, you should definitely read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. First of all, UK cover is absolutely stunning. I think the US one is really good as well, but I think this is one of the cases that the UK one wins. The stories have absolutely nothing to do with each other, but the reason why I'm recommending this is because if you're a Peter Pan girly, usually you like the theme of never grow up, you like the theme of eternal childhood, and I think this book tackles the meaning of life, the meaning of time, and what we do with our existence when we never grow old and what happens. So I think this is a really good choice for that reason. So The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue follows Addie, a girl that was born, what was it, it's around the 1700s, and she makes a deal that she will soon learn that she will regret. She wants to escape her daily life and wants immortality, wants to be remembered, but little does she know that the deal that she makes will make her meet people, but the next day she will be forgotten forever. Like, she cannot meet somebody twice because they will forget her, which is crazy the minute she's out of their eyes. So again, it follows the themes of why would we choose something like this, and kind of self-punishment, and what takes for us to grow. So I think that is a really good choice. It is a lovely story, and again, if you like the themes of time and life meaning, I think this is a really good choice. Then we're gonna still keep going with animation films. I'm gonna say, if your favorite film as a child was Despicable Me, you should read Assistant to the Villain. I have recommended this book ever since I read it. I think it's such a fun book, and I think it gives Despicable Me so much because there is this kind of office environment. I get the Minions vibes. I also get Gru vibes, but Gru is like attractive in this turn, and it's just so good. It's so fun. This story is about Evie, and she is looking for a job. She is so nice that she literally gives a job offer that she got to another person that needed it more, and then all of a sudden she stumbles into this mysterious man in the woods, and turns out he is the one and only villain terrorizing her kingdom, but he's in need of an assistant. So she's like, what do I have to lose? Help a villain here and there, eyeballs everywhere, like who cares? She soon gets used to all the gore and everything that's going on there. But of course, not everything is what it seems, and the villain, is he really the villain? Is somebody also after him? How are we going to tackle this? And there's a big threat to the kingdom as well that only Evie can help uncover. So I think it is literally so good. It's so funny. The love story is just amazing. There is already a second one and there's a third one coming out, but I cannot recommend this series enough. If you like a romantasy and if you like fantasy, I think it's so good, but it also again gives those vibes of like the funny kind of villain sort of situation, and it gives you the other side of the story, because of course usually we're on the hero side of the story, but that's why it reminds me of Despicable Me, because Gru of course is the villain, but he's kind of the hero. Definitely recommend. It's literally so good. Then we're gonna go for a book series that I know is not for everybody, but I will never not look for an excuse to talk about it, and that series is Magnolia Parks. And I know a lot of people have related it to this TV show, so we're just gonna say it. If you liked Gossip Girl growing up, you definitely need to read Magnolia Parks. I think the bigger thing that relates it to them is that they're like the elite kind of rich sort of friend group that gets into lots of drama. I think that's what they're related amongst the two, and I can definitely see that vibe. But you guys, Magnolia Parks is, I don't even know what genre to put it in. Definitely it's like a drama, it's definitely fiction, it's got romance, but the way it's written, I think I would describe Jessa Hastings, writing as like a stream of consciousness. I think she literally gets in character and is like, and it's so good because you're literally immersed in their minds, and it just, these people are so real to me. Like, if you told me Magnolia Parks is walking around London right now, I'd believe you. Like, if I saw her Instagram, again, I'd believe you. Like, they feel so real to me, and just, I think it's just the way it's written. Like, these feel like real people. And I think that's one of my favorite things. And again, this story follows Magnolia and BJ. Magnolia is this rich girl. She's spoiled. She's a bit, you know, stubborn. And then BJ, he is everybody's love interest. He is the bad boy that breaks her heart. And again, I think this is more of like a character-driven story. It's not really a plot-driven story. So it is mainly them being toxic and how are we gonna get out of this and how are we gonna grow up. And I think it is them finding each other throughout different points of their life and how they just cannot let go of each other. But this series also follows Daisy Hates, which is the second book that happens at the same time as the Magnolia Parks book, and this one follows Daisy and her brother Julian and another character called Christian, and they are part of the most famous London gangsters. So it's a very different story, but again, it also is written in the same style, and they're kind of correlating. There's so many things that connect them, and the stories, you guys, are so good. So again, I think if you like the Gossip Girl vibes, you should definitely read Magnolia Parks. Again, I know the writing is not for everybody, but if you haven't read it, you should definitely at least give it a chance, because there is no going back after reading this. You will be obsessed, and then there'll be little things like bees, like Bambis. You will see them everywhere, and you'll be like, oh, Magnolia. Like, you'll think of them without even knowing. They're gonna be in your mind forever. So be prepared to be obsessed. Okay, now back to animation. If you were a Barbie movie girl, you should definitely read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I think this argument could also be made for Disney princess girls, maybe Sleeping Beauty vibes, but I think that like princessy, pink, delicate kind of vibe. You like fairy tales. You're a fairy tale girly. You believe in true love and true love's kiss. This is the story for you. I think Once Upon a Broken Heart is one of those series that I literally think about every day, and I think I read it 2 years ago. I've read the 1 and 2 twice, and I definitely want to read the whole series again, maybe this year, maybe next year. There's just always so much to read, but I really want to do so many rereads. But this story is probably my favorite series of all time. I love Evangeline, I love Jax, and this story means the world to me. I am a fairy tale girly, I am a Disney princess girly, so this is literally the everything to me. This is me, and this is everything that I ever dream of and want, and this is like the world that I would want to live in if magic existed. But anyways, this story follows Evangeline, who is a girl that again believes in true love. She is in love with this guy, everything is going well. All of a sudden he breaks it off with her and tells her that she's gonna marry her stepsister. So Evangeline is like, whoa, first of all, heartbroken, second of all, what the heck, like what happened here? So anyways, when the wedding is gonna happen, Evangeline goes heartbroken to the Prince of Hearts church, and she begs for something to happen, something to intervene. She knows something is wrong. So the Prince of Hearts shows up, and he's like, hey, I'll cut you a deal. But of course Evangeline is innocent. She doesn't know that there's always strings attached. So when she goes to the wedding, everybody's been turned into stone. And Evangeline is so nice. She's the sweetest girl ever. So she's like, how can I fix this? So she takes this like an elixir that turns her into stone but saves the family. So she becomes this famous hero in the land, but then it takes ages for her to wake up, and she literally does not know what happened, what has happened to her ex, what has happened to her stepsister. Everything is kind of hidden, and she doesn't know what the truth was. But because she's this famous hero, she gets invited by the queens. I don't think they're called the queens, I can't remember, the empresses of the land, and they tell her to go to the magnificent north because there's a ball being held. And she's like, this is my chance to know the magnificent north where there is magic. My parents loved it there. They knew so much about it. So she goes on a little adventure, but little does she know she will come across the Prince of Hearts again, and he wants the debt paid. So it's a beautiful story. And it's a fairy tale, so it's perfect. What more do you want? So definitely recommend that. I will literally recommend it in every recommendation video that I can fit it in, because if you haven't read it, you absolutely need to. Next up, if one of your favorite movies growing up as well was Twilight. I remember being a child and kind of not understanding the hype until I was more of a teenager, and I was like, what are these people interested in? I remember going to see the last Harry Potter film in the theater. The Twilight trailer came out, and Jacob takes off his shirt, and all the girls were screaming. I was like, girls, what are you doing? But I was young and didn't know the way then. But now I love Twilight. It is one of those guilty pleasure films that I will rewatch every autumn. I love them. They're so bad, they're good. So if that was one of your favorite films growing up or series growing up, you should definitely read Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This kind of follows that same dynamic between werewolf, vampire, will they not, and kind of that alpha dynamic. So I think it's a fun read, a very different story, not related to Twilight, but I feel like it has that vampire werewolf kind of back and forth that is always quite fun and interesting. So this story follows Misery, who is the daughter of the vampire chief, sort of, and she is ordered to marry the alpha of one of the packs of werewolves, and this kind of unravels the story when she needs to go live in werewolf territory. So she is kind of not a hostage, but kind of like a hostage. She's like, I don't want to be here. I'm not meant to be here. I hate these people. I hate my father as well. So again, it kind of unravels a lot of history that she didn't know about her own species. And of course, they're enemies, but can they be more? And I think it's, again, such a fun story. It's an easy read. It's only one book. So I think it's just a fun time if you're looking for a bit of a palate cleanser in between books. It's just fun. Then if your favorite films as a child were the Tinkerbell films, you guys, those were the days. I was obsessed with Tinkerbell and all of her friends, and I think we've talked about this before because I showed you one of like my old diaries when I was younger. Like, I loved and still love Tinkerbell. Like, I love her, but the whole aesthetic and like, which fairy were you? Like, it was amazing. So if your favorite films were those, you should definitely read Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. First of all, once again, the cover, absolutely stunning. The aesthetic of this series is amazing. And again, if you like Tinkerbell movies, they were cozy, they were cute. Again, it was like a comfort place to be. And then these ones are literally the coziest books I have ever read. There's cottages, there's knitting, there's just little fairies everywhere. It is just so cozy. The stakes are high, but also it just feels like a warm hug. Like, this series is just cozy. That's the best way I can describe it. If you're looking for something like action-packed and stuff, this is not the right book for you. This is a lot slower. So this series follows Emily Wilde, who is a professor in Cambridge, and she is in the process of writing her own fairy encyclopedia. On one of her adventures, going to learn more about a specific species, she gets followed by her university rival, Wendell, I think it is. Yeah, Wendell. And they kind of never liked each other. She thinks he's a bit of a mess and that he doesn't have enough foundation in his studies. But when they're in this fairyland, when they're investigating these new fairies, she starts noticing certain things about him. So she is now doubting, who really is he and why is he here? So she is trying to figure out more about these fairies, but also trying to figure out more about herself and who has she been spending all of her time with. And it's literally, again, so cozy. You make so many friends along the way. There's a little bit of found family. And I think Emily and the Cambridge aesthetic, it's just literally perfect. But again, it is cozy. The story is just very chill, and it's just kind of written like journal style, in which she's just taking notes of what she lives and sees through her fairy adventures. The next one is very niche, but I remember loving this film when I was young, and it is Twitches. This film, I remember my bestie and I used to, you know, try and see who was the moon and who was the sun, and it was really scary for a time there, but I used to love it. So if you like Twitches and you like the witchy sort of hunting hour vibes, you should definitely read The Crimson Moth. To be honest, I didn't love this book. I thought it's more of like a popcorn book. It's kind of just a fun, easy read, and it's a duology, which is already done, so that is great as well. You can binge 2 books, and again, both of them are pretty like fast-paced and easy to read. This is a world in which witches are being hunted. They are just dangerous to mankind, and of course there is a love story between the main hunter and the witch. Of course, it has to happen, but she is hiding in plain sight. She's a socialite. She's going to all of these balls, going everywhere, and nobody knows who she really is. But between all of this, there is the Crimson Moth, who has been saving witches and killing soldiers all around town. So of course, our main love interest, Gideon, is the one charged with finding her. Again, it's just that thing of like hunted and hunter, and it's just a fun dynamic. Like, we all love it, we all eat it up. So again, if you like the witchy vibes, definitely recommend this one. Okay, so we're gonna do one last one, and this one is based purely of aesthetics. And I'm gonna say, if you liked The Vampire Diaries when you were younger, you should read Phantasma. And again, no vampires here, none of that stuff, but literally just based off aesthetics when they're like in New Orleans and that sort of vibe, just like the darkish night vampire sort of night town. And the reason why I think this is because, of course, this happens in New Orleans and there are some dark creatures. The story follows a necromancer and how she is starting to unwind secrets after her mother dies. So her mother dies and doesn't tell them anything. There's so much, she's like, what the heck, you left our whole life in disarray. So when she finds out that her sister knew more, she follows her into a deadly competition inside a mansion, and it kind of follows the story as to why they're there, what the mansion has to do with their past, and how it all interconnects. But again, like literally nothing to do with the Vampire Diaries. The stories are very different, but just based off the aesthetic of like the past scenes between Damon and Stefan, I feel like that is why it made me think of this book. Just the way I was picturing it was those vampire nights, exactly how I picture this book. So that's mainly why I wanted to recommend it if you like that sort of aesthetic, New Orleans, that sort of vibe. So this is a bit more of a rogue one, but still. Then again, I do think this is more of a popcorn book as well. It's quite fun, easy to read, nothing crazy. It's just a fun time. Those are all the books we're going to talk about today, guys, but I'm sure we'll have plenty more of these catch-ups. If you have any books to recommend based on your favorite books or TV shows, let me know, because I'm just always looking for new books to read. Honestly, TBR is never ending and it just keeps growing. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye!